Newton's first law of motion.
I am at rest because I am not moving. I will continue to not move unless an outside force acts on me, as inertia states.
I am the unbalanced force that will cause Kate to become in motion.
We are pushing in opposite directions with the same force, so it's a balanced force which produces a combined force of 0 newtons. That is why neither of us are moving. I am trying to push Parker, but since she is wearing rough shoes, there is too much friction between her feet and the ground.
Friction opposes motion. This is why I am not moving.
I am so mad that you are winning.
The ball would have continued to stay in motion at a constant velocity, but because of the outside force of gravity, the ball fell to the ground.
I'm sorry.
Me too. Newton's second law of motion.
In Newton's second law of motion, he says that acceleration depends on force and mass.
Today we will see how force and mass affect acceleration while on a bike.
I pushed Parker with a small force, and she is a medium mass.
I didn't accelerate that much. Let's see what happens if Kate pushes me with a bigger force. Whoa, I really sped up from having no velocity.
You mean acceleration?
Yeah, let's try it with a bigger mass.
You mean my dad?
You betcha!
I pushed my dad with a small force.
How about you give him a bigger push?
You mean apply a bigger force?
You mean force and mass have an effect on acceleration? Scientific exactly!
Newton's third law of motion.
I am sitting on a rolly chair. I will throw a cylindrical object to experiment with Newton's third law.
Parker throwing the cylindrical object was the action force. The action force is the force that initiates the reaction.
The reaction force is the cylindrical object exerting an equal and opposite force back on me. This makes me move backward, and since I am on the chair moves back too.
What exactly does equal and opposite forces mean?
Good question, Kate. Well, it means if a first object exerts a force on an object, then that object will exert the same force back on the first object in the opposite direction.
Oh, what objects were the forces acting between?
They were acting between my body and the cylindrical object.
I now understand Newton's third law.